I have been derelict in my duties doing tag videos. I get tagged by my friends and I make a comment saying, "This is a great tag. I'll get around to it later." I don't often get around to it later. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I'm doing the I'll get around to it later tag. This tag was originally found on Wordpress from a book blogger called Quote Unquote. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat, Hannah at Hannah's Books, and I think I was tagged a couple other times. Well, anyway, there are 8 prompts in this tag. Prompt number 1, a classic book you've been meaning to read forever, but haven't read yet. To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, originally published in 1927. In 1998, it made it onto the Modern Library's 100 Best English Language Novels of the 20th Century. Number 15. And I have not read it. I have owned this book since the 90s. This is not a plot-driven book. It is the story of a woman named Ramsay and her explorations of an isle in Scotland. It is stream of consciousness. It is very philosophical. And as I said, it's about the small joys in life and the tragedies of everyday life. I need to get around to reading it someday. Prompt number 2, a book on your shelf that you still haven't read yet. Well, it hasn't been on my list for a long time, but I was given this book by my wife on my birthday. This is Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. 3 Latina women throw a private event. It is a seance. They're supposed to be having a good, fun time together. Unfortunately, I think they're going to call up an Aztec goddess, and she's not going to be particularly friendly or happy. I've seen at least 2 BookTubers highly praise the work of V. Castro, an author that I have never read before. It's about time that I get around to her. Prompt number 3, a book you recently got but haven't read yet. Elena Knows by Claudio Pinheiro. On the day before I began the 4th annual Read What You Own challenge, I ordered this book. I wanted to have it on hand so I could join in a group discussion. Book Chat with Pat and some other people are reading the entire works of Claudio Pinheiro in English translation. I have heard and seen numerous BookTubers highly praise this novel, and it was on my list to pick up. And when I heard there was going to be a discussion, I knew I wanted to join in. I am only going to be joining in for this one novel, but I look forward to that discussion. This is a crime novel of sorts. A young woman kills herself in a cathedral. Her mother does not believe the official police report, and this should be the mother's investigation into her daughter's death. I'm looking forward to it. Prompt number 4, a book you've had forever but haven't read yet. Gabriela, Clove, and Cinnamon by Jorge Armado. In 1983, when I was a freshman at college, I bought this book off a friend. He was going to trade it in to the used bookstore, but I said, "Hey, that sounds kind of interesting. I'll buy it for $1. And it's been sitting on my shelves ever since. Gabriela is part of a flock of dirty, bedraggled migrant workers who come into a larger Brazilian town, there is a cafe owner who desperately needs a cook. So he hires Gabriela. And lo and behold, it turns out that a migrant worker can actually be good at something. She's going to be a fantastic cook. Now, can I read this book that has been sitting on my shelf after all these years? I should read it. My one problem is, look at the size of that print. Really tiny print. There is no audiobook. There is no ebook. If I want to read this, I'm going to have to suffer through small print. Prompt number 5, a book a friend recommended that you haven't read yet. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I have a commenter on my videos and live shows named Lee, and she voxered me saying that she had a book that she'd finished reading and was going to give away, and did I want it? I said yes. It has been sitting on my shelves for some time, and I have not gotten around to it yet. It is, of course, the story of Ariadne, the princess of Crete. She is pondering her brother, who lives beneath the city of Crete. She can hear his hooves stomping on the stone. Of course, her brother is the Minotaur. And then comes to Crete a handsome youth named Theseus. What is going to happen? This is, of course, a retelling of the fabulous Greek myth, and I need to get around to reading it. Prompt number 6, a book you're procrastinating on. That would be In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. The famous science fiction author Harlan Ellison once commented that no one under the age of 40 should attempt to read Proust. I am now 60, so I can say I have officially 20 years of procrastination not reading Proust. That will end in January of 2025. I have started a Discord group for people who want to read the entire In Search of Lost Time in 2025. I will provide a link to that Discord group if you care to join us. I know it's a huge commitment to reading Proust. 4,200 pages is a lot of pages. So what I've been recommending is commit to book 1, Swan's Way. It is a little over 400 pages, if I'm not mistaken. And after you read that first book, you can decide if you want to continue on with the other 6 books. It is not a requirement to read all of Proust in 2025. I do predict that there will be a high drop-off rate after book 1. I have read book 1 before, but never got past that book. I got a little into book 2, but then I quit. Maybe in 2025, I will defeat that procrastination and finish In Search of Lost Time. Prompt number 7, the next book on your TBR. This morning, I started a reread of Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. I should be done with that in a day or 2. And then I will be going on to Succubi by Edward Lee. Edward Lee is a notorious horror author. He is graphic and he is disgusting. His most notorious novel is The Big Head, and I have read that one, and yes, it is graphic and disgusting, but it's also kind of fascinating. This book, of course, is going to be about a succubus or 2. I don't know much more about the plot, and I don't really care because I just want to read this book. My friend Bad as Rad was commenting on one of her videos or on a Voxer channel comment that she wanted to read Succubi. And since I already had this book on my shelf, I told her, let's do a buddy read in December. So the next book on my list is Succubi. Prompt number 8, tag some people. I think just about everybody and their mother has done this tag already, but I've come up with 4 names that might not have done this tag yet. Sorry if I am mistaken about that. So I'm going to be tagging Mark at Book Time with Elvis, Randy Ray, the Literate Texan, Jim at Mystery and Mayhem, and Farah at Bookstalgic. I hope you have not done this, and if you don't want to do it, don't worry about it. Okay, that is the end of the tag. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.